Well, let's jump right in, shouldn't we? And let's bring in Detective Ron Liccardi from the New York City Police Department. Retired. Ron, how you doing, brother?
Drum roll.
How are you, Mike? Chris, thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here with you guys tonight. I really am. So thank you so much. You got a great group of people in the chat. Everybody's saying hello. Thank you to all of my people who I have put the orders out. The no days off. There was no days off on Labor Day for my people. They were all instructed to come on over to Profiling Evil. So
there we go. And did you ever have one off anyway during the PD days?
Yeah, kind of no. Labor Day, I would have been out there overnight last night and into this morning. There was 5 shootings overnight. It would have been a no excusal no matter what. And I really didn't have days, weekends, steady weekends off until I hit like my 15th year. So
amazing.
I had to wait 15 years to get a weekend off. So
hey,
yeah.
So Ron, so tell us at NYPD. Tell us about choir practice at the NYPD, and thank you, Stephanie. We're grateful for that.
Yes.
Tell us about, yeah. So go into a little bit of your choir practice there.
Absolutely. So choir practice, I mean, it was, you know, an absolute right of our 4 to 12 guys, the 4x4s. What they would wind up doing instead of a 4 to 12 was a 4x4. We would go to the local watering hole after doing a long tour on the 4 to 12 shift. And we would talk about our previous tours, our gripes, our problems that we were having with supervisors. All of the cop issues were our choir practice. And it involved alcohol, wings, a lot of cussing, a lot of laughing, a lot of bagpipe playing, a lot of goodness. So our choir practice in the good old city boys, we go to the local watering hole, and then the midnight guys, I work midnights most of my career, we would go over and get a nice meal from them guys and watch them act like a fool and laugh at them and then talk about it with the day tour. So that's the New York City choir practice version 101 a la DutyRon. So
that's fantastic. I have to tell you, Ron, so I sent you a little note earlier because you had Chief Fox on your show today, and Alley Cat, thank you so much. We agree. DutyRon is the best guest ever.
He's a great man.
We're so appreciative of everyone. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Soul Speaker, Claire S., Nancy Eileen, thank you. Yeah. But I want to just tell you, West 58th and 9th Street in about 87, I was doing a VICAP homicide case in downtown New York. We were, it's kind of what, Upper West Side, is that right about?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, around Upper West Side. Yeah,
and the guy said, hey, we're going to walk into choir practice, and it was at a bar, and they had this, we went through the back way into the bar, and I'm the guy from Utah, the non-drinker, and so I'm always the designated driver, as Chris was.
We always got to have one of those guys on board.
Yeah. So we're walking in, and I guess they just wanted to, show me a good time. But we go in the back way, and we go upstairs, and the whole wall in the manager's office is a glass one-way mirror. And these folks are just grinding against the glass, and it's getting pretty disgusting. And I said, that really breaks my heart, because there were 2 guys that were up against the glass with another woman, and this happened the other day. One of the guys was talking about it, but they as they were making out and dancing very closely, they revealed that it was an all male club, so everyone there were guys.
Oh, yeah. And gotcha.
So yeah, the kid from Utah got a taste of what choir practice for New York.
Welcome to New York City. Welcome. That's your welcome to New York City, right, Mike King? There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, there you go. Royce, thank you very much. Hey, but there is a pub right next to the, I think it's the Marriott Courtyard there by the Memorial. It's O'Hara's.
Oh yeah, I've been in there. Yeah. Listen, I got to tell you a story about O'Hara's. Yeah, a little bit after I retired in 2011, 2012, there was a movement called Occupy Wall Street, and the Occupy Wall Street took over right by that pub in Zuccotti Park, which was right opposite the World Trade Center, and they were, sort of like what we have going on in Seattle, but a little bit of a watered down version. But it was the same group of people. You know, they didn't want to have any authority. So we had a detail there, and I was the director of security at that detail as a newly private citizen, right? So I was dealing with all of my chiefs and all my contacts that the NYPD was down there. But my New York Mets, our New York Mets. Now, I know Joey Brooklyn is here, one of my good friends. He's my director of security.
I thought you were a Yankees guy, Ron. I thought you were a Yankees guy.
Don't even start, Mike. Don't even start with me. So my New York Mets were playing, and Johan Santana was pitching the only no-hitter that really wasn't a no-hitter, because Carlos Beltran did hit a double and it got ruled a foul ball, but it really was. That night, we had Occupy Wall Street going crazy. I had 2 instances where I had to run away from the detail, which is just a half a block away. I had to see the last pitch, and I had to get an adult beverage just to deal with these guys. So right through the window at O'Hara's, they served me my beer real quick, and I watched the last pitch, and I was making money. So it was a trifecta. I had
it was a winner.
Win. Yes. So a little bit of a little DutyRon story right there.
So Ron, hey, T. Royce, thank you so much. That is awesome. Kim Brulette, thank you. I know we missed a couple of super chats, Chris. Maybe we find those and call them out. But Ron, I wanted to tell you, you said you thought we were both from Utah. Actually,
thank you.
San Diego.
No, I corrected it. I said you were from Utah, and then I realized Mike was from a West Coast guy, San Diego, right? Mike?
Yeah, opposite.
I mean, Chris,
Mike
San
Utah,
Diego,
Chris,
Mike, Utah. Yes.
And the cool thing about Chris that you got to know, the first time I met him, of course, we were in the middle of a serial killer case, and that night he was playing in the way I always describe him is he was the only white guy playing in an all Polynesian band in downtown San Diego. And he's an amazing musician. One day we'll get him to play
Howie Brown's Polynesian Review.
Hey, listen, when we all get a chance and let our hair down, we'll listen to Chris play
Good
a little
golly,
bit.
Miss Molly, thank you.
Chris, he can serenade us.
Oh yeah. Put your seatbelts on that night, buddy.
Hey, thank you to all of my people that are coming in here, becoming members and super chatting. I greatly appreciate that, guys.
Yeah,
thank you so much for the support. These guys are great guys right here. Many years of law enforcement experience. They're professionals, and I appreciate each and every one of my people here. I see the whole chat is being flooded with a lot of my people, so I greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, and thank you for your people who are equally
going over there.
Yeah, they're awesome. Absolutely. They're awesome. It's awesome stuff.
We can't say enough about the fact that you did bring your family with you, Ron, and we hope our family visits you. Good golly, Miss Molly, I think we called you out, but thank you so much. And Left Undone, welcome aboard. I think I mentioned earlier, but Mystic Fireflies in the house, Tiffany Guzman, and folks, thank you. And if you've purchased any merchandise, take a picture of yourself with it. We're going to try to get some pictures up throughout this. If we
I got to interrupt just for a second.
Yeah, go.
I got to interrupt. Latina says, DutyRon.
She's amazing.
Brooklyn or Bronx? I bet Brooklyn. Guess what? She wins. Brooklyn.
Awesome.
So you win. I get to buy you a drink if I ever meet up with you over here. Come on down to Brooklyn.
She's an amazing human being.
And you know what I liked, Ron, is that you called her Draw Latina, because you and I are the only ones authorized to do that.
Yeah. I didn't want to mess it up, and I didn't want to say, hey, Latina, so I hit the draw. I don't know if it's Latina. I don't know. I didn't want to screw it up. So,
hey,
Mike.
Ron, for both of our families. So for both of our families with O'Hara's for a second, this is make sure that everybody understands. If you get a chance and you're in the city, it's right across from the memorial. What's the street there? Church Street.
It's right off of Church. Right? Yeah, Church.
Yeah, Church.
You could walk right from there straight into the memorial. So
it's right by the Greek chapel, right? That they're remodeling right there.
And there's a firehouse right at the end of the street. Right at the end of the street, there's a firehouse.
As Ron just talked about, go into that pub and just look at all of the patches on the wall.
It's amazing.
There are tens of thousands of them. Fire, police, just any kind of emergency service you can think of. Thanks, Left Undone. we're so grateful. And also, I learned a little tidbit about this, Ron. I didn't know this, and you probably know that during the collapse of the tower, that was one of the first places they put some of the victims' remains. It was one of the first morgues.
They use it as a temporary morgue. That and Burger King. There was a Burger King restaurant we turned into a temporary morgue. It was just for the first day and a half, 2 days.
Right, right.
But also what they did do, and you might not have known this, but for a period of time, probably about a week to 10 days, they served food to us, to the first responders, inside that establishment. It was desecrated, but they boarded it up, and they had Robert De Niro was in there, and all the actors were coming in and trying to lend a hand because, as you guys know, the United States and all the great people from across the country and across the world, for that matter, came together 19 years ago on Friday coming up. And it was just, I got to tell you, it was like nothing I've ever seen in my life. And, the amount of humanity that was happening after September 11th by housewives, by husbands, by lawyers, doctors, every walk of life. It wasn't just about us, the first responders. It was about humanity, and everybody came together, and it was unbelievable. So, not to draw us off of our choir practice here, but I got to tell you what I witnessed, and I was there till April of 2002. I worked at the medical examiner's office. I worked on the pile with the bucket brigade. We were in charge of the largest crime scene that we've ever had in the NYPD history, and it was just unbelievable. It was unbearable at times, and as you guys know, when you can't help anybody, that's what we signed up for. We signed up to help people in times of need, and this World Trade Center, this disaster. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't help anybody. There was nobody to rescue. Yeah. There was nobody to save. So it was really difficult for myself and all of the men and women of law enforcement, the steel workers, the iron, everybody that worked at that pile. It was just massive frustration. But at the end of the day, we really all came together. And when I saw women from Westchester and upstate New York coming down on the West Side Highway, and as we were coming off the pile just to get a breath of fresh air, because don't forget we didn't have the masks, they were dousing us with water, bottles of water over our heads, wiping us off with fresh towels. These were women that were risking their safety. They didn't care. They were just showing love to us, and it was just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Hey, Ron, I want to just keep right on this theme, but I want to move a little bit from 9/11. And folks, please, we would remind you, last Thursday we did a program on that. Go and watch that, and we want you to share that with everyone.
Great job.
Till we get to 9/11. But Breezy Treat, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. But Ronnie, I found this picture of a boy. I'm assuming he's like one of your children or something that I wanted to put up here.
There he is. The middle.
Catherine Wyatt, thank you.
There he is.
Right. So
look at all the hair
for those super chats. Yes. So I'll for our listening audience, this middle photo with me with the cap device and full uniform was right outside Madison Square Garden at the post office. I took pictures with my family. That was my graduation day. October 30th.
That one's not on the wall in the post office.
Easy, cowboy. Easy. Chris,
okay,
slow it down.
As we say
over here, slow it down. Anyways, the middle photo is me at 26 years old. Okay. Fresh graduation photo. The picture on the left, I'm looking at looking at the computer to the left with the windbreaker jacket is in the outside the 75th precinct, circa 1997. We were doing a warrant hit, a search warrant hit at a house, and all the vehicles, that little mirror that you see there, that was an emergency services truck. And the guy had a Polaroid and snapped the picture. And he said, "Hey, when are you going to realize you got to shave your head? You're going bald." So that was what he said to me. And I turned my head like that, like, and, you know, obviously we can't use expletives here, but I said a couple of choice words for my brother in the emergency service truck 5. And the photo on the right is my profile picture. That was going to a funeral, and I was in my dress blues heading out for a funeral. And that's in my kitchen right here. The very kitchen and wallpaper that you made fun of, Mike. So
no, it was McDonough. It wasn't me.
No, I just asked if you're in the back room at a pizza place. That's
McDonough,
all
I'll have the last word with you.
So Ron, I want you to tell me something. Somebody ratted you out, and this really touched me. Would you just take a minute? And, you know, part of this show is about rehumanizing law enforcement to folks and reminding them that it's just not all about busting down people and throwing them in jail. I'm going to take you back a little bit. Would you talk about a homeless drug addict that you helped out one night?
Yeah, I would be happy to talk about that, because I'm very proud of that moment. And all of my people that are here in the chat have heard me speak about this, probably more than what they want to hear about, because I'm proud of this. It was towards the end of my career, and I was working in the Fugitive Enforcement Division. I worked there for a decade, but it was right at the end of my career. My partner was also retiring before me. So I was going to get a new partner, and it was just maybe 4 months before I retired. We got a call from the Port Authority police at the Port Authority bus terminal that there was a vagrant homeless drug addict who had a New York City bench warrant. It was a misdemeanor warrant, but it was a quiet evening. Normally we would say, cut him loose, tell him to go on his own to court in the morning, or they would hold him and they would bring him. They didn't have the personnel. We were not busy. I was looking for some overtime. So I went to the Port Authority bus terminal. We picked up this gentleman. He was a homeless guy, crack addict, smelled awful, all of the above. We picked him up. We took him to court. Court was down. It was overnight court, so it was Manhattan court runs 24. So at about 10 o'clock, we took him to get a slice of pizza, which he hadn't had in a long time, and he started telling us his story. And I noticed he had a Southern accent, like he was from down south. And I said, "Where are you from?" And he explained to us that he was from South Carolina, but he's been up here because he had disagreements with his family and his father, and telling him to get a job. He couldn't get a job. So he came up here to get a job, and he got introduced to a couple of bad people and got hooked. He wasn't on drugs when he left South Carolina. So he came here and he got hooked on crack, cocaine. And that's when he started spiraling out of control. And I'm very much of my people, and everybody who knows me, I'm a people person. I care about people, you know. So we listened to his story. We got him a slice of pizza. He was very appreciative. He said, "All I want to do is go home and see my dad. He's like 96 years old. He doesn't have much time left. I want to get back home to see him, and I'm trying to make some money to get down there." So make a long story short, we bring him into court when the judge comes back on the bench, and the judge calls us up for a sidebar, which these judges never do because they're seeing so much volume. And the judge went on to explain to us that this guy, 2 years prior, saved a tourist from Texas that was pushed onto the subway tracks. It was all over the news. The guy was stabbed and thrown onto the subway tracks, and he was living in the subway. You know, we picked him up from the Port Authority. He's in all of the, transit facilities. And Joe Fox knew of this guy. I had a conversation with Joe about this today, Chief Fox. So he said, "I'm going to release this guy and expunge his warrant. This guy's a hero." This is the judges telling us. And I was just like, I got a New York City judge telling me, a criminal court judge telling me that this guy he got the keys to the city from the mayor. So I went back. I didn't say a word to him. We got him released. We got the warrant expunged. And me and my partner looked at each other and said, "Let's do it." We brought him back to the Port Authority bus terminal, and we bought him the Greyhound bus ticket back to see his father. But we didn't trust him 100%. We needed to speak to his father. So we got his dad on the phone, and he spoke to us and said, "Detectives, I haven't seen my son in 3 years. I want to see my son," crackling voice. I almost started crying, and I'm not ashamed of it. I was really emotional. and it was $77. I'll never forget it. It was it would have been much cheaper if you bought it in advance, but right then and there, when we watched him get on the bus, the father took my phone number, my department cell phone, and he said, "I'm going to pay you back." And I said, "Okay, but don't worry about it." He goes, "No, I'm going to pay you back." 2 weeks later, I got a phone call on that department cell, and it was from South Carolina. I didn't save the number, but I noticed it was South. I answered the phone, and he said, "I'm here with my son. You made my life complete." And he said, "I want your home address so I could send you the money." And I said, "I want you to send me the money." And he said, I insist. I want your home address." Well, he never sent the money to me, but he was sincere at that point. And it was just a good feel for my partner who was walking away. And for me, I had another 4 or 5 months or whatever it was. I just felt like, hey, this is something that I gave back. And it was a really great feeling inside to do that.
It's another segment, Mike, of why we serve.
Yeah.
Right there.
Exactly.
Another segment of why we serve.
I'm working in a police department that has 40,000 members, the largest police department in the United States. And these are the things that go on. It's not just my stories. There's many, many other cops that do that.
Stand-up guy.
Yeah. But right now, we won't get into that, what we're going through right now. But people have to keep that in the back of their minds, that there are good ones out there that risk life and limb and that also have a heart. And I'll tell you one more quick, very short story, because I know you guys got limited time. But I used to bring my kids recycled toys on Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving to work, because I worked all those holidays when I was on patrol. In the first decade of my career, I was on patrol. And I used to get a lot of flack from all the guys, like, hey, I got the DutyRon name from the police department because the duty captain used to always monitor the radio. I used to take all the calls and stack them up, and they said, "We don't need the duty captain, we got the DutyRon." So that's how I got that name. It came to me in 1992, and it stuck with me. But I used to bring the toys, and I'd give them to the kids as we went to the jobs. When we went to calls and we saw that there was no Christmas tree or no presents under a tree, if there was one, and I would leave a toy with them. I'd have the bag in the trunk of the RMP, the Radio Patrol Car, Radio Motor Patrol, RMP we call them. And guys used to say, "You're a softie." And I said, "I'll serve Mr. Softy ice cream all day long. I don't care. I got my kids, got a bunch of stuff. They don't use it. I recycle it." And that's another thing that I used to do all the time.
That's
God bless
fantastic,
you, man. Good
Ron.
for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ron, for sharing that. We're grateful. Mike, what are your thoughts?
Oh, no, I just want to call out a couple people. T-Dong Strong, thank you. Shannon Burgess Whittle, I like that. His dad, this is so much, she says it's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for caring so much. I think that speaks for everybody. And, Ron, you are right. I mean, you see it over and over again with cops. And if you watch the news and you want to find those, you see the cop who's paying somebody's property tax on their car so that they got a licensed vehicle, or you see them buying the transient on the street dinner. And, we always had a deal. I mean, you never wanted to just hand the transient money. We'd make them go into Denny's at 2:00 in the morning with us, and we'd make them eat a meal. And, they didn't want it very bad, but it was the best thing for them at that time.
My aunt is a Catholic nun. She's 87 years old, and she's still active with the Catholic Church. And she used to make me give her tube socks for Christmas. And she would go to Rikers Island and bring the inmates the tube socks for Christmas. And when I became a cop and she told me she was doing that, I said, "Aunt Joan, you can't do that. You're going to get hurt." So I used to go with her and give her the security guard kind of thing. And she would go in, hand a big sack of tube socks to the prisoners around Christmas time. And that's the way I was raised in a Catholic family, where you love thy neighbor, you do unto others what you'd want done to you. I treated everybody, not just in my police life, but my whole entire life, with the same respect and the same amount of the same type of treatment that I'd want to be treated with in the same situation. Because we're all just human beings. We make mistakes in life. People get behind the wheel of a car, and when they aren't supposed to, with the suspended license, that doesn't mean that they're criminal number one. You got to treat those people with respect. And if somebody made a mistake and I arrested them, and I made 1,000 arrests in my career, 1,000 times I've taken handcuffs and put them on people. And out of that 1,000, I have 5 complaints. and those 5 complaints were all unsubstantiated. I think that's a pretty good record for putting 1,000 people, bad guys, to jail, and they've all thanked me. So
pretty dang good, actually. Over my shoulder, I don't know if you can see, there's a plaque on the wall from Ray Kelly that he gave me when he was police commissioner. And I know that Chris and I have known Bratton and especially most recently Jimmy O'Neill. I'm really sad, Ron, about what's happening in the city. And I don't want to end on a negative note for you, but there's a really, to me, a sad twist going on when you have somebody like Commissioner O'Neill stepping away because of what's going on. What are your thoughts? And I don't know, Chris, if you want to add anything to that.
I'll let Ron. Ron, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
Jimmy O'Neill was my boss for a little while. So
I didn't know that. Did you know that, Chris? I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Jimmy O'Neill is a cop's cop. He's a great guy. Yes. When he left the PC spot, I knew that he left not because he was going to take on a better job. He was basically forced to leave because of the Mayor de Blasio, and his policies. And Jimmy took as much as he could of it, because I've been in meetings with him in Comstat and going over warrant cases and fugitive. He was the CO of fugitive enforcement. And he's not the kind of guy that wants to just take a soft touch to crime. We could take a soft touch to low-level crimes, to quality of life crimes, but you can't take a soft touch to bad guys and bad people, because they take advantage. You give an inch, you take a yard. It's the same concept. And in New York City, you're not just dealing with regular criminals. And in any major city, you're dealing with criminal elements that are gang-related, that are drug-related, and all of the above. And these are not nice people. These aren't people that, hardworking, law-abiding citizens want to deal with. And that's why we have that job, to go out, and as you have your profiling evil, to go out and remove evil off the street. It's a job that most people would walk away from and would run away from. When we would hear shots fired at a housing development, 20 stories, we'd go running in while everybody's scattering like bugs. We were running in. So at the end of the day, when people are quick to say defund the police and the police are bad, when things get bad, those very same people, when they are shot on the street, as we saw in Minneapolis, as we saw in Kansas, and in all over the country, in all these different cities where these riots are breaking out, when these protesters are shot, they're calling for the police and they're calling for help. And it's ironic that that happens, because just moments before that and days before that, they were breaking windows, lighting fires in innocent people's businesses, burning down buildings and desecrating cities. And then when they have trouble, they call for us. So it's an unfortunate situation. And I tell you this right now, the direction that we're heading in is a very bad road. It's a bad road we're going down, because it doesn't get better. It spirals out of control and it gets worse. And until the governors and mayors of these cities take charge, you're going to have this lawlessness where it's just going to spiral out of control. And I hope and pray every day that things will get better. And that's all we can do, guys. Yeah. So
they will get better, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they'll get better.
So I think so.
So I mean, I think we all just kind of push forward. Mike, right?
Yeah, no, Ron, and I mean, we got to say goodbye to you, and that's going to upset a lot more people than us talking a little bit of politics right there.
I got to get to bed.
But yeah, we're worried about these older guys.
6 o'clock comes really soon,
But I don't know of a cop out there that doesn't think there's always room for us to get better in this profession and to do things more
community policing
appropriately. And the opportunities are great for us to do that. At the same light, if the pendulum swings too far, it creates a public safety crises, and I hope we don't hit that point. And Ron, I just want you to know we love you, brother, and I'm going to let Chris say the final comments, but thank you so much for coming on and for all your support. And
my pleasure.
It's just great to rub shoulders with you.
Yep. And when Chris is done, I want to just say one quick thing. So
Yeah, you can actually say it now if you want, buddy. Go ahead, fire away.
All right. So quickly before I exit, because Chris is looking to hit that button on me. I can hear it coming. This is like the Oscars where I'm starting to ramble on. It's like seriously, the people who came and supported this live stream tonight from my channel, and all of the people who are sending positive messages in the chat. I want to just say how much that really means to me. And I know Chris and Mike feel the same way. The support through comments in the comment section, the super chats, the memberships, it all shows us that what we're doing means something to you. So I want to just tip my cap to the people here in the chat, all the people who support law enforcement, your local military, your local law enforcement, your military, your first responders, your teachers, your doctors, your lawyers. Stay true to yourself. And, you know, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys for the opportunity. I hope I get the invite back. You know, I hope
absolutely, and vice versa.
Yeah. I love to have you guys on my channel. Yeah, we'll have a good time.
We appreciate it. And thank you so much to everybody. I hope all of your subscribers who joined don't just dump us as soon as you hang up.
They're subscribing. My people are loyal. They're going to be here for you. So
and Ron, keep watching, because we're gonna hear from Andy Mormon, the brother of Suzanne Mormon, Morphew, I mean, and we're gonna also get a really, I think it's, to me, I'm really excited about it, a really special guest at the end of the show.
Yeah, if you guys could send Andy my regards and my well wishes, a lot of prayers and well wishes, and anything I could do for his family, I'm going to donate to his GoFundMe, definitely. And if there's anything I could do to help out, I'm always here. So thank you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't, you know, thank you. We'll,
we'll let Willie say, I was going to say, we'll let him say hi to Andy himself. But let's bring Andy in. I saw Andy waving to him in the back room, Ron. So if you can see, Andy was actually waving to you as you said goodbye. So,
I didn't see him, but I'm here. Hi, Andy.
Sorry.
Hey, thank you for your service. You're a great person.
I appreciate that, Andy. And like I said, just to Chris and Mike, if there's anything I could do for your family going forward, I mean, I'm here in New York, but I'm tough as nails. So if there's anything that you need on the side, I got a lot of contacts and I got a lot of people. So keep me in mind. These guys got my number. A lot of prayers for you, Andy. I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys.
Thanks, Ron. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Be safe.